So this has prompted most people to ask if they need to watch The Wizard of Oz before hitting the cinema for Wicked, and the simple answer is no. However, The Wizard of Oz is considered one of the greatest films of all time, and no one would want to pass on an opportunity to have a look at such a historical piece. The film was produced when Hollywood started to transition from black and white to Technicolor, and that's what made Dorothy step into color as soon as she entered the land of Oz. By watching The Wizard of Oz before Wicked, you can familiarize yourself with the setting and story and see the differences between the two films. Also, Wicked contains many Easter eggs that can only be picked up by someone who has seen and remembered the iconic moments of The Wizard of Oz. However, all you need to know about Wicked's narrative is that there is an evil witch of the West and a good witch named Glinda the Good. The film dives into their shared past and how their reputations don't match reality. Wicked isn't quite a standard to any other The Wizard of Oz story, and there are quite a few of them, but rather a revisionist prequel that imagines a more complex environment than we see in other Oz films and literature. Also, because the timeline can be confusing, many have wondered if Wicked is a prequel to The Wizard of Oz, and the answer will further enlighten us on the timelines of these two movies. Wicked is based on a Broadway musical, the second highest grossing Broadway musical ever. However, this Broadway musical is adapted from Gregory Maguire's novel titled Wicked. The Wicked movie is in two parts and will conclude in parallel to The Wizard of Oz, as we've illustrated earlier, and there are some details from the original that will be missing. Although it's the same setting, Wicked just used The Wizard of Oz as an inspiration to launch a new meaning and story that diverted from the original. Also, Gregory's novel is much darker and more complicated than the Broadway musical and the film. Although many references from the original movie and book can be found in Wicked, the film found ways to create its own lore that is easy to follow even without seeing The Wizard of Oz. Some details from the novel that were missed in the original movie were included in Wicked, one of which is the silver slippers that Dorothy wears, but they were changed to red to show off the vibrance of Technicolor and stand in contrast to the yellow brick road. Interestingly enough, there are many timelines in the Wicked and the Wizard of Oz franchises, all of which have unique story arcs. The Wizard of Oz books have inspired other stories and birthed new parallel timelines. Baum, who wrote the novels, intended to create a modern American fairy tale, and he got it just right. The lore that has come out of Baum's books has been remixed and rearranged many times.